Welcome back to Season 5 of the Changing Earth podcast with Sara F. Hathaway, blending survival fiction and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sara F. Hathaway.
Hello, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 179, Season 5, Episode 16. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. This episode comes out on Christmas Day of 2018, and it's just my honor to have been with you guys for so long, podcasting and just having a ball. So Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a great holiday, and if anything, I can put a smile on your face. I know sometimes holidays get a little bit stressful, but just remember what it's all about. It's about loving. It's about your loved ones, and it's about, being thankful for the gifts that we receive every day from our loved ones, which is just their love. And so, no matter how much pressure or whatever you think you're under, stress that you're feeling, the holiday stress, just take a minute, deep breath, and appreciate the day for what it is. So after that very merry welcoming, I want to thank all of my Patreon members for doing what you do. You guys are the best, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate everything that you do. I should also note that on some of my feedback that I heard, people would rather have a yearly payment option. So if you head on over to my website, you don't have to become a Patreon member, so to speak. I have a yearly payment method set up there so that that's an easier avenue for you to contribute to the show. That way it's available there, and that's done through PayPal, and you'll still have access to all the same goodies that everybody else does via Patreon. So I got that avenue all set up, so just head over to www.author.sarafhathaway.com. Sara doesn't have an H on it. It's S-A-R-A, F like Frank, Hathaway, H-A-T-H-A-W-A-Y. And you can go ahead and check that out if you just hit the button, become a Patreon member. It's not actually linked with Patreon, but you're going to get all the access to the same goodies because I'm the one that controls all that. So I can do that either way, and I just want to make it easy for you guys, and that's some of the feedback that I received is you'd rather have access to a yearly payment method so you don't have to worry about paying it monthly. So went ahead and got that all done for you, so go ahead and head on over there and become a contributor. Get all the free bonuses and all the goodies. Last week on the Changing Earth podcast, we followed Daniel out to the homesteads, and he was training with the sword and training with Master Rowan. We did the episode on blade fighting, a really great episode. And this week, we're following Erica back out to the homesteads, and she just really enjoys her time out there fishing, just relaxing and taking this moment to just kind of relax a little after this, huge roller coaster of life that she's been living. It's interesting when I sit back and think about where the story began compared to where it is now, and all the time that we've traveled, all the time that we've spent with these characters, and just where their life has evolved to. So in Dark Days in Denver, I really wanted to take that moment to just, have that peaceful existence for a second before we roll into the next stage of the books, and it's really cool. So can't wait to introduce my new material to you. So this week she's out fishing, and I'm just super honored because Ellen Kerr is back on the show, and she is going to talk to us today about some survival fishing methods, how we can do that, what do you need on a bare minimum level, and then what are some of the advantages, what should you be aware of in an SHTF situation, and things like that. So great interview today, so stick around after the chapter reading for that. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into Chapter 16, Dark Days in Denver.
Chapter 16. Bennett knew the time to take Denver was fast approaching. He would miss spending his afternoons with Michelle. She brightened his days in ways he hadn't experienced for many years. However, he was committed to Erica's safety and the success of the mercenary army's efforts. Sitting in the tent, snuggling Michelle in his arms, he couldn't shake the feeling that Erica was up to something. "I gotta go," he told Michelle, standing up and putting his uniform back on. Why? The afternoon is still young, Michelle countered. I know. I just can't shake a feeling, and I gotta go check it out, Bennett replied. You worry about her too much, Michelle told him. With good reason, Bennett replied, chuckling. You saw what she did to the mayor's wife. Because that grunt couldn't keep his eyes on her. She only needs a minute to get into trouble. Why is it your problem, Patrick? Michelle wondered. Bennett sat down on the edge of the cot and held Michelle's hand. Erica is my responsibility. I molded that woman for the resistance. I trained her to be the killer she is. When you create something like that, you can't just let it run wild, Bennett told her. You give yourself too much credit. You don't think that existed in her before you got a hold of her? Michelle wondered at his arrogance. I know it did, but I honed it, bred it, encouraged it. I needed her story, her tenacity, and her heart. She turned me into the man you love, as I was helping her make a stand, Bennett admitted honestly. Then I guess I should be thanking her, Michelle conceded. Go do what you gotta do, but take it easy on the woman. She's been through a lot. I will, don't worry, he said with a smirk. Michelle didn't believe a word of it. Bennett left Michelle's tent, headed for the training field where Erica was supposed to be. Staff Sergeant Gleason was approaching through the back door of the gym by herself. How's she doing, Staff Sergeant? He asked as she approached. Oh, good, sir. She's in the bathroom right now, though, Victoria answered. That's fine. I'm headed over to talk with Lieutenant Colonel Burgess. I'll be back, Bennett told her. Victoria and Erica had a plan in place for this type of emergency, and Victoria went and placed a bandana by the rear gate. As Erica was running home, she found it, and instead of coming in the back entrance of the gym, she climbed in the bathroom window that Victoria left open. Bennett returned from talking with Lieutenant Colonel Burgess as Erica was exiting the bathroom. Wow, Cupcake, that must have been one hell of a bomb you dropped in there, Bennett teased, eyeballing her. I'm not really feeling that good, Erica told him. You are looking tired, and your eyes are all bloodshot. Maybe it's allergies or something. You should go see your father-in-law, Bennett told her. I think I'll just go back to the tent. I can talk to him when he comes home, she told Bennett. I'll walk you there, Bennett volunteered. No, really, First Sergeant, it's fine, Erica told him. I insist, Erica, Bennett commanded, standing over her. Well, if you insist, then let's go, Erica acquiesced. Bennett was sure something was going on. Where is her normal attitude, he wondered. The next day, Bennett met Erica early inside the weight room. You've been hitting it hard lately, right? He asked. Every afternoon while you've been out playing smoochy face, she teased. Let's see what you're pushing these days then, Bennett said. Honestly, I haven't been in here much. I've been out on the fields practicing martial arts forms, sprints, and working on agility, Erica countered. Sounds like excuses to me, Bennett said. She looked at him curiously. Are we going to train or argue? Erica snapped. Don't get all defensive. I was just checking on your progress, Bennett told her, unsure why she was reacting this way. I'm actually going to spend the afternoon with Michelle. I was just seeing how you were doing. You two are getting really close, aren't you? Erica asked. I like spending time with her. It's been a while since I found a woman like that, Bennett told her. That's good, Bennett, Erica told him. It's about time. Well, I'll catch up with you later, he told her, leaving the gym with a suspicious look. He paused in the hallway and ducked around the corner where they could not see him. Erica watched him go. She knew he was up to something, but she was anxious to go fish the pond with her friends. He's poking around a lot, Victoria commented, as they walked out towards the abandoned practice field. He'll be so busy with Michelle, he'll never even notice I'm gone, Erica assured her, before she took off across the field, headed for her secret hole. Bennett circled around the building and watched them exit out the back. Erica was an expert at evading watchful eyes, but Bennett knew her and the weaknesses in her search patterns. He watched them as they made their way to the training grounds. Staff Sergeant Gleason took her position, and Erica darted across the field. She went to the far fence line and started squirming her way through a patch of blackberry bushes that grew there. Then she popped out on the other side of the fence. He carefully circled around the exterior fence line and watched Erica making her way around the back edge of the camp. He hustled over to the rear gate and trotted to catch up to her. The woman could move fast and stealthily, but Bennett trained her. He knew the locations she would exploit and soon caught sight of her again as she skirted around the outside of the refugee camp. She followed a path along the exterior of the homesteaders' camp and entered through a tiny hole in the fence. Bennett was amazed she knew of its location and could even fit through it. He could not follow her any longer. He didn't have the clearance to enter the homesteaders' camp today. He hid his silhouette amongst the trees and watched her navigate through the forest. She ended up at the edge of a lake where she met up with some men. It looked as if they were friends, but Bennett didn't recognize them. Pulling out his binoculars to get a closer look, he thought maybe he saw them before in the gym. He watched Erica puffing smoke and shook his head. He was guessing it wasn't tobacco rolled up in that paper. He followed the smoke as it went from individual to individual, trying to identify them. As the smoke passed a Gear, Bennett knew who they were. Gear, Ned, and Graham. They were a particularly stubborn group of men, elite fighters from the area who would not join sides with anyone. They were the typical security force at the homesteads when security was not being stressed to the max. Loyal only to their families, it made them unreliable on any mission they did agree to help with. Bennett watched her cast out a hook into the water and sit down to relax by the lake. Oh yeah, she's been training her butt off, he huffed angrily to himself. She sat down but bounced right back up, reeling in a whopper of a fish. Bennett didn't even need to use the binoculars to see its size. He smiled at her fighting the tension on the rod, but he scowled as Gear grabbed a net and helped her land it. Gear put the fish into a bucket and congratulated her. Disturbed by Erica's behavior, Bennett grew tired of watching her and went to find Vince. Heading towards Erica's tent, he found Nancy at home, chatting with Walter at the table. "Hi, Nancy," he greeted her. "Hi, Patrick," Nancy returned the gesture. "Is Eddie around?" he wondered. "No, he should be at the mess, though," Nancy explained. "Didn't he eat with Erica?" Bennett wondered. He had to help his mom with a project before lunch, so they ate separately. "I know he's headed out to the homesteads after lunch," she elaborated. "Is everything okay, First Sergeant?" Walter wondered. "Knowing my daughter, she's probably off somewhere causing trouble," Nancy commented sarcastically. "You know her too well, ma'am," Bennett replied. "You two take care now." He headed for the mess, unsure if he would find Vince, but he'd skipped lunch to make sure he didn't miss Erica earlier and figured he might as well get some. He grabbed a plate and scanned the seats looking for Vince. He saw him there eating with Greg and Mitchell. "You guys mind if I join you?" he asked. "Sure, have a seat, bro," Greg replied. "You're not out with Michelle this afternoon?" Vince asked. "Oh yeah, Michelle. You've been spending a lot of afternoons cooped up with her," Greg teased. "Isn't that Miss Longlegs?" Mitchell added. Bennett blushed at the young man's comment. "Yes, Mitchell. We met in Reno and connected here again. I'm not out with Michelle because I was going to train with Erica today," he stated casually. "Where is she?" Vince wondered. Greg and Mitchell were just finishing up. They looked at one another, well aware that if Bennett was here and Erica wasn't, trouble was brewing. "Well, I gotta get back and check on Penny," Greg said, dismissing himself. "I'll walk with you," Mitchell interjected, quickly getting up from his chair. "Well, Bennett, where is she?" Vince wondered, watching his friends scramble. "That's what I was going to ask you," Bennett countered, scooping up a forkful of veggies. "Don't you have a guard on her?" Vince responded. "Yeah. Her guard is posted out at the abandoned training field where Erica should be. I'll deal with that later," Bennett commented, chewing on his food. "Sounds like you got a problem," Vince added, knowing exactly where Erica was. "Vince, we have a problem," Bennett urged, trying to gain his assistance with dealing with her. "Did you know she goes and hangs out with the fighters from the homesteads? They're out there fishing and doing drugs." Vince chuckled at Bennett. "You mean the Colorado boys? They're nice guys, Bennett. She already took me to meet them. Did you know Gear makes knives? Real good ones, too. You'd probably like him. As far as the drugs, it's just a little weed, Bennett. Lighten up. She's been through hell, and now she must hide so she's not hunted every day. She hates not being able to rally the troops, so she smokes a little weed now and again to fight the physical and psychological pain. Who cares?" Vince explained. Bennett sat there dumbfounded. Vince already knew the truth. He would be no help. "You're fine with your wife gallivanting around with men like that? Aren't you worried?" Bennett asked. "About what?" Vince asked, wanting him to say it out loud. "About her cheating," Bennett responded. Vince laughed heartily and sat back in his chair. "Okay, Bennett. Beyond the fact that I trust Erica 100% of everything that I am, if you got to know those guys, you'd find out they're family men. They're no more interested in Erica for that reason than you are. She should be training and preparing for Denver, not filling her days with R&R, Bennett countered, trying a new angle. "Look who's talking," Vince said flatly, looking him dead in the eyes. She's been on lockdown, left alone to train all day, so she met some new friends in the process. She's safe within their walls. Bennett thought for a moment, not knowing what to say. This is why he had always struggled with relationships with women in the past. There was always a constant pull between his duties and his desire to maintain the friendship. He fumbled to find the right words. Maybe you're right, Vince. We've all been run through the ringer. Maybe we all need some time to get our souls straight. She'll be ready when you need her. You know her. She'll step up to whatever plate you need her to. So don't be too hard on her, or her guard for letting her take a break, Vince suggested. Bennett looked at him curiously. What do you care about her guard, he wondered. Erica and Victoria go way back, Vince explained. Victoria was one of the first students at the Las Vegas camp who Erica trained. The skills Erica gave her landed her in a prison cell where Merkley found her. Those sneaky women. They didn't say anything about that. I had no idea, Bennett replied, realizing Erica duped him all along. Victoria is loyal to Erica, Vince continued. Getting her in trouble wouldn't do either of them very well. You know what, Vince? Bennett said, while wiping up the remnants on his plate with a piece of bread. What's that? Vince wondered. It's a good thing I came to find you before I went off and did something stupid, Bennett said with a chuckle. See, you can teach an old dog new tricks, Vince teased, laughing. Bennett looked at Vince crossly. You know, Vince, it's been a while since we got in the ring together. Vince laughed at him. That's because I'm not stupid, he countered. I'll be ready when you need me, too, but without getting in the ring with you first. Bennett and Vince left the mess together, laughing at their jokes. Bennett went to a place that Erica would pass by on her way home and waited. As the sun was setting into early evening, she emerged through the hole in the homesteader's fence line. He knew the tired look she wore. He saw it often lately. Now he knew why. It was the effects of the smoke she was indulging in. Her steps were light, but she was more careless as she poked her way along. Hello, Cupcake, he said, stepping out from the bushes. She jumped in the air when she heard his voice and unconsciously took up a defensive stance. Holy shit, Bennett! What are you trying to do? Give me a heart attack? She hissed at him. Where's your guard, Erica? He asked condescendingly. She's back at the field, Erica admitted, knowing she and Victoria were in it deep now. What are you doing? He asked. You followed me, she countered, upset that she got caught. You can see the lake from the fence. You know exactly what I was doing. I do, and I'm not happy, but I am trying to understand, Bennett told her. Erica was stunned by his reaction. Stuck in a state of disbelief, she still expected an impending thrashing. I would have liked to see some self-discipline and focus on training, but overkill can be a bad thing too. Sometimes the soul needs time to heal. I'm also not thrilled with your choice of friends, he explained. Erica couldn't believe these words were coming so calmly out of his mouth. I like them, she defended. You're free to choose your own friends, he told her. I just want you to know my opinion. Are you just messing with me, Bennett? Erica wondered. Are you some alien imposter? What happened to the real Bennett? He laughed at her joke. I understand how hard it is to be hidden here. The major problem I'm having with your route is the lack of a guard. You know how impossible 1-on-3 could be. She thought back to when she was jumped in the library by 3 guys and she was alone. She might not have made it through the experience if her father-in-law hadn't stepped in to help. Out here she was isolated, and no one would come to her aid. Staff Sergeant Gleason knows you're leaving, right? Bennett asked. Erica didn't know how to respond. She didn't want to get her friend into trouble, but Bennett's understanding demeanor took her off guard. You can tell me. She won't receive a formal reprimand, Bennett replied, seeing Erica's hesitation. Yeah, she knows, Erica told him honestly. I want her to go with you. She can wait hidden near the hole in the homesteader's fence, Bennett commanded. Erica was dumbfounded by this encounter. Thanks, Bennett. I really wasn't expecting that, Erica told him. I'm not letting you off the hook completely. I want you training at least every other day in the afternoon. And since you aren't putting in as much time in the afternoon, we'll just have to step up the morning sessions, he informed her with a gleam in his eye. Come on, Hopscotch, he said, escorting her back to the rear gate. The color drained from Victoria's face as she watched Bennett and Erica approach together. She was expecting a demotion and a formal reprimand. Staff Sergeant Gleason, are you missing something? Bennett boomed as they approached. Sir, yes, sir, Victoria answered, scared to say anything else. Staff Sergeant, I'm obviously not happy with this situation. Erica and I have discussed it, and you are to follow her, Bennett said, winking at her. Take him back, Victoria replied. Yes, sir. This lack of attention to detail will cause you some extra work in morning PT sessions. I expect to see you in the ring with me tomorrow, and we'll start specializing your training, Bennett explained. Victoria's eyes widened. Erica could barely survive in that ring, but she wasn't getting a formal reprimand, so all she could say was, yes, sir.
Busted by Bennett. Erica gets a new set of rules, and Victoria is going to receive some personalized training. So he wasn't too thrilled with the situation, but Bennett's really coming around. He's one of the characters that I really wanted to bring out and just develop him more and more. So really cool chapter, I think, of him, trying to understand and not just be the turd, basically. So love this chapter. And Erica really loves this peaceful time that she gets to spend fishing, and fishing can be a really great source of food in an SHTF situation. And here to talk about survival fishing is Ellen Kerr. Ellen Kerr is a leading seaman in the Australian Royal Navy. She was born in 1980 in Australia. Ellen Louise Kerr has been married for 16 years to her wonderful spouse, Brian. They have 2 daughters, Miriam and Emma, plus 2 spoiled cats, 2 ducks. I think she got a little bit more ducks now. They just had some babies. 1 budgie and 2 lizards. What's a budgie, you ask? A budgie is a native Australian bird. They are a popular pet in Australia. Ellen joined the Australian Royal Navy in 2003 and served for 14 years. She has earned the rank of leading seaman and is an electronic warfare director at sea. When she's on the shore, she works in the field of electronic intelligence. Ellen was deployed to the Persian Gulf in 2005 as part of the Allied attack force on board the HMAS Darwin, for which she is now recognized as veteran. She has also deployed to and took part in numerous exercises in New Zealand, Hawaii, and Southeast Asia. In her spare time, she practices Hapkido and works on staying prepared for whatever may come our way. Ellen enjoys camping, fishing, shooting, and four-wheeling. She loves sci-fi and end-of-the-world genre material. Her favorite TV show is Firefly. She loves her ducks and motorbikes. So let's go ahead and welcome Ellen to the show. Today I am back with my Australian friend and connection and new partner in crime, Ellen Kerr. Ellen, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate your time.
You are most welcome. And g'day.
Yes, the Australian flair. That's what we're looking at today. So, Ellen, why don't you just go ahead? We're going to be talking a little about fishing, survival fishing, and how we can really utilize that as a food source in a grid down situation. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Your repertoire is awesome. So just take it away.
All right. Well, my name's obviously Ellen Kerr, and I am 38 years old, and I have married, and I've got 2 beautiful daughters. One is 19, the other one is 12. And I am been a member of the Royal Australian Navy since 2003, so that's 15 years of service.
Nice.
And my job is electronic warfare.
Yeah, you get to fire some of the big guns. I like that.
Not guns, but decoys.
Okay. All right. Still, you're shooting a big cannon, though, right? I got some big flare.
Yeah, cannons and tubes and rockets and yeah.
Yeah, all cool stuff. All right up my alley. I'd be like, yeah. Nice. That's how everybody is when we're playing airsoft. You know, they're automatic. The airsoft guns are actually automatic weapons, right? So you get to fire. It's like...
We can only dream.
Yeah, right? Everybody has the same giggle when they get a hold of that thing. It's the
See, airsoft is not legal in Australia.
What? You can't even do airsoft?
Yeah.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh.
Paintball?
No paintball?
Yes, we're allowed paintball.
Okay. Well, airsoft is like cheaper than paintball.
I know.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, well, don't worry. When you come out to...
We have an oppressive government.
Yeah. When you come out to visit, we're going to airsoft it up. I have some camos for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's game on. Okay, so let's get into fishing. On a general basis, when you're looking to catch fish just with a rod, you just have a fishing rod, you go out there, you know, it's in your go bags, you're like, what the heck, I'm going to give this a try. What kind of spot are you really looking for if you're on like a lake? And then let's talk about like a river flow system.
Cool. Lake, I would be looking for anything that's overhanging and any trees in the water.
Okay.
Natural habitat, home, yeah. And then also you would look for activity on top of the water. So if there's any bugs and stuff like that are on the top of the water, fish will be feeding on those bugs as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So that's what I would look for.
What about river? Same kind of thing, or does the flowing water make a difference there?
No, not really. Because the flowing water creates eddies, and the fish will sit in the eddies and duck out of those eddies into the fast water.
Okay. Yeah, I got to admit, I grew up on the lakes in Michigan, and so we have just lots of not flowing water. You know, it's just all flat. There's a lot of swamps there, you know, ponds. And then coming to California with all the river systems where it's fast flowing water and that, it's just a little bit different for me. And I've never really caught fish out here. So it just pisses me off. So I'm like, whatever. I'll fish in Texas.
Well, it's flat, calm water. You'd be looking for structure underneath the water. So if you know that there is something sunken underneath there, that's where you could probably catch big fish under there.
Okay.
And fast-flowing rivers, especially salmon and trout like that, they travel upstream to breed. So
yeah, so that's where
people fly fish for those. Yeah.
Yeah, you should see Sacramento. That everybody's out on the American River at like the same exact time. So it's just lines everywhere, and I'm like, oh heck no, that is not for me right there. They're just all the salmon run, you know. I'm like, okay, this is overpopulation at its finest.
Right.
So
I was planning my drive up there, and I'm looking where to stop and stuff, and on the way up to your place, and one of those places is Bass Pro Shop.
Oh yes, we got one in Roseville now. It's just they have the Black Friday sales, you know, just happened and everything, and that I love that store. The only one that's better is Cabela's, but you won't get an opportunity to pass by one, you know, on your way up. So yeah, that's the only. Yeah. I would say so that's the only
Walmart
one.
and a Bass Pro Shop.
Walmart? Oh no. Walmart, okay, is evil. I would have to be very desperate to go to Walmart. So, oh, that represents America. I'm so ashamed. Well, alrighty. So, what is like the bare minimum gear? So, say you weren't preparedness minded, you weren't smart enough to put a rod in your go bag, or remember it was there or something. What kind of bare minimum equipment do we need? Can you really do the stick and the line like old school?
You can, yes, you can. But I have one of these. So, and a few of these actually. So the line is wrapped around and it's already set up with a hook and a sinker.
Okay. Now you got to describe it because we're going audio, right?
Yep. All right. So it's a hand reel with line twist around it, and it's designed for fishing.
Okay. And that doesn't look like it would be as bulky as a big old rod in your bag. Like, I have a snap down rod, but that looks even slimmer.
No, it's very light. You can clip it to the outside of your bag.
So how do you cast off with it?
You grab a bit of line and you swing it around and you throw it out.
There you go. Put a little weight on the end and just throw it out there. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we got my son one of those rocket rods, that you can cock it and then shoot it out. It shoots out and opens up and everything.
See, that's illegal in Australia.
Is what? Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. See, now everybody that's listening, better thank goodness gracious for the US of A right there.
Yes.
We got rocket rods.
We're not even allowed to carry pepper spray.
What? Huh. Like, oh, you don't get to defend yourself, sorry.
No. And in a house invasion, the police say, just let them do it.
Oh, right. I got a sign for that
Yeah.
policeman. It's not so friendly.
No. No. I definitely know I have the skills to defend myself. But,
Right. Yeah. Wow. Man, they
but
should
I'm
be...
going to get sued from that.
They should just be touting self-defense over there like nobody's business then. Like, kudos for getting into martial arts, and you better get back into jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Cool. And then I also carry, and it's a 3-piece rod. So what you're saying that you've got a extendable rod,
Right.
I've got one of those ones.
Okay, and the pieces connect together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can also get there's a little pen rods
Okay.
off eBay.
How do they work? Like, do you think it's worth it, or would you rather just go with the hand reel like you have?
It would be worth it. Depends on what size of fish you're going after.
Fair enough. Yep.
If you're only going to catch a small fish, and it may not be worth cooking and eating them like that, but you put them all in a pot and make a stew,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all your protein anyway.
Yeah. Then you could carry a net too and just go after, minnows, smaller fish like that too for a stew.
Yes.
Yep, and just eat them all.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to set the minnows free. My dad would have them for fishing. I'm like, oh no, so mean. Little tree hugger, I guess.
Not no more.
Yeah, right. Now I'm like, all right, string it up. Let's take care of them. Okay, so how about line? Like, there's all different tests. So if somebody didn't know about fishing at all and they're looking at line, what would you recommend would be a good middle line for a mid-sized fish? I mean, we're not out on the ocean right now. You might be, but
10 to 15 pounds.
okay. It's a good middle.
That would cover most basics.
And not be too big for you.
Okay. And if you're thinking of just nylon line, it has a breaking strength of 10 to 15, but it can abrade easier.
Okay.
If you're talking about braid is more technically stronger, but that is extremely abrasive.
Right.
So you would have braid on a line, and you would put 3 to 4 meters of a nylon line on it to have that shock and abrasive factor.
Okay, gotcha. Because it might be too visible to if you didn't put that leeway on it.
Yes.
Okay. What if you didn't have any fishing line? So can you really just use the paracord line, the inside paracord?
Yeah, you can use that. You could use any sort of thin stuff you can get,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
Floss it, two floss.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there out there? Even just cotton.
Okay. Yeah, they might like the minty freshness.
Yeah, well, it'll work.
Right? Yeah, I like that. There's a type of paracord called Titan cord, and it has a copper line in there, jute line, and a fishing line in with the nylon inside the paracord. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I've got about 10 feet of that.
Yep. Yeah, Dale, that comes on my show, he gave me a pair of bootlaces that are the Titan cord. So, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I know. Thanks, Dale. Love ya. Merry Christmas. Be nice Christmas today. All right.
They have an awesome show.
Yeah, right? You got the Christmas Day episode. All right, so what type of lure would work and what type would you rather have? So there's things that would work and there's stuff you'd rather have.
So in, say, a bucket bag situation, I would have an assortment of soft plastics and some metal slices and just some lures that have rattles in them.
Okay.
And size and shape and everything can vary. Research what fish is going to be in your area and look up what they prefer, really.
Yeah, and then you can go as natural as grubs and worms and all that.
Yeah.
As well.
Even just live bait or just bait works well anyway.
Yeah. Do you guys use the little stinky fish Play-Doh out there?
Yes, we use that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the shelf life is on that, but it works pretty good.
I don't know.
Right? I'm like, I don't know. Probably a while, though. We just leave it out in Texas every time we go back. It's still there. So.
Yep.
It works.
And make sure you have some floats as well. Oh, you call them bobbers.
Oh, okay, got you. Yep.
So what I have are little red and white balls that you attach to your line.
Yeah, just the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just simple fishing gear.
I've even heard that, like, well, I don't know if you'd have a marshmallow, but you could use a marshmallow. I've heard that you can just put a marshmallow on your string and then it'll float. You can watch it. But they might eat the marshmallow. I don't know.
That is true.
Because we got, down in Texas, in my mother-in-law's pond, they have turtles, right? So the turtles will come and eat the bobbers sometimes.
I'd rather eat the marshmallow.
Right? Yeah, so put the marshmallow on, and then they can eat the marshmallow all they want. Right?
Cool.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm sure if you were hard up, you could just do like a stick or an acorn or something like that. Just something that's going to float and bob when they hit it. When they hit your hook.
Yes.
Yeah. Get creative if you had to.
And that also depends on if they're feeding on the surface. Sometimes they don't feed near the surface, so you might have to take the bobber off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put a weight on and let it drop.
Yeah, so if you're not catching fish one way, try a different method.
Yep. Makes sense. Have you ever fly fished?
I do. I've fly fished in the Northern Territory for saltwater.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's something I haven't...
Big fish.
Yeah, that's something I haven't ventured into yet. So I was like, okay, let's, see what that's about. Because that's all surface dwellers there.
Yeah, and where I live down here, I'm close to the Snowy Mountains. So they've actually stocked the streams with trout.
Okay.
Even though they're not native to Australia. But it creates a tourism business.
Oh, there you go. It's yummy. I mean, trout's yummy, so can't complain. Yep. But so what kind of native fish do you have that would really be like something that you're after?
Where I live now?
Yeah.
Redfin. They're not native either. So yellowfin and Murray cod.
Okay.
Our freshwater species.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, in Michigan, where I'm from, walleye. It's all about the walleye, and it's this really white, yummy, flaky fish. It's just so good in the Great Lakes. So, yeah, the walleye there is.
No bass?
Yes, tons of bass too, like largemouth, smallmouth. But the walleye, perch, they're just little guys though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
They got red fins though. Yeah.
I don't know. That's not one that was big on our list. We did steelhead salmon and then the walleye tournaments. and a lot of perch. We have sturgeon there.
All right. Redfin in Australia are invasive species, and they're called they're some sort of perch.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, we had in Michigan. There's a little mussel that came in off the ocean liners and that, and the little mussels have been big.
They'll be the black stripes.
Yep, they've been big problems.
And you got those sucking fish too, the lampreys.
Oh, huh? Yep. Yeah.
Taking over the Great Lakes.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of, because they opened up the St. Lawrence Seaway and they just bring everything through now, you know, so, but it's what, you know, trade. So.
That's right.
That's all about the dollar.
People need their stuff.
Yep. So here in Cali, it's like rainbow trout, the salmon, obviously, and then brown trout, too. You got some big browns out here.
Oh.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I'd love to go fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. But like I say, it's been so daunting. I'm just like, I hate fishing in California. Forget this. So, but my brother caught a brown that was pretty darn good. So, yeah, I guess I just have to be more patient. I'm not very patient, you know. I'm like, throw it out there, reel it in.
Living in the NT made me not very patient for fishing down here.
Okay. Yeah, because it happens.
Because when you, dropped your anchor or throwed out a line and stuff like that, if you didn't catch anything, you'd move.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it is on the Great Lakes, you know. We got all the downriggers, everything's out. So we got so many lines out and off the boat. Something's hitting all the time, you know, and then you're trying to get one, you're trying to bring in the next one. Now their lines get crossed, everything. So dad's cussing, you know. Memories. All right, so how about, I know that they're not legal, because they're not legal here. I don't know if they're legal there, but fishing traps, right? And they're not.
Oh, we use them. We're allowed to.
Oh, what? See, we're not allowed to use those at all. Like that. No.
So we catch live bait to catch fish.
Okay.
So we would have a trap out, and all the little mullet go into the trap. You take them out, you put them in a bucket, and then you put them on your hook and you throw it out to catch big fish.
Oh, okay, we can do that too. Like that, well, we did it in Michigan. I don't know about California. And crawfish we can catch in a trap out here. But like...
Yeah, we call them yabbies here.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen fishing traps that you can put like at the bottom of waterfalls. So when the water comes down the waterfall, like all the fish go into the trap, right? And then you just can take your fish out as you need them. And,
that would be illegal here.
Yeah, that's totally illegal here too. But if they're like in a survival situation, you know, I mean, really, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So.
Well, everything's off the table then.
Yeah. So, but even having just a little trap like that, like we said in the beginning, you can take those little fish and make a stew out of them, even if instead of using them for bait.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
That's right.
Maybe you do like a half and half split if you got a bunch of them, because what if you wasted all your little fish trying to get big fish and then never got it? And then you have nothing to eat.
Yeah, that is true.
Right?
That is true.
That'd be kind of spooky to me. So what kind of, so describe one of the traps to me that you might use if you were in the survival situation.
So we have ones that are clear tubes. Now, you could just get a normal soda bottle and cut a hole in it, and then fold the plastic back so it creates a tunnel, and you put little rocks in it, and then put your bread in it, and then put it out.
And then they just go in there while you're just chilling.
Yeah, that's what we used to do as kids.
Yeah. How about a trout line too? Like you can do the line, you know, that connects the 2 points with the lines off of it. And that way you can just sink that sucker out and let them hit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that'd be nice, because you could set something up like that in the morning and then go out and check your animal traps or wild forage, stuff like that, and then be able to come back in the afternoon. You might have fish. and get lucky.
Yep. And you could use any sort of netting as well to create a little bit of a barrier. So anything that creates some sort of a net, lace tablecloth, for example, you can use that and string that across. Anything that creates a barrier and that draws fish in.
Okay. Yeah.
To where you want them, yeah.
And then your grandparents are rolling in their grave going, what did you do with the tablecloth?
Well.
Like, hey, I had to eat, man.
It's a survival.
Right?
Situation, yeah.
Fair enough. So, would fishing be a reliable long-term food supply?
Well, it all comes back to the what the situation is. Definitely wouldn't be fishing underneath a stream that's a nuclear plant that's up the road.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or a chemical plant or something like that.
And there's a lot of worries there. I mean, I laugh about it, but it's the truth because sometimes you don't know, like, what's up. So you better figure out.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you come across a lake in the middle of a forest and stuff like that, it's probably going to be the cleanest water you'll find.
Mm-hmm. And then
and there'll be life there.
My concern too was like everybody going for it. You know, I mean, I picture like people out trying to hunt deer and stuff that have never done it. And they're like, oh, I have to get food.
Oh, it'll be chaos.
Right? Yeah. So like everybody's out there with their rod and then you fish it out and there's nothing left. You know, that to me is my concern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
that's it. If people leave set lines, that's where you go and cut them.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Well, then there goes my trout line that I had set up. Ellen comes by. She's taking me out, dude. Nice.
Survival of the fittest.
I hear that. Love it. All right. Well, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, do you think there's something else that, we should really alert listeners to as far as like the ins and outs of what it's going to take to actually catch a fish if they have never done this before?
Basically, have some line, some hooks, some bobbers, and some sinkers. And you can make up whatever rod, fit out, whatever suits you.
Mm-hmm.
And something's not working, try a different method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, don't jump through the water like a crazy person, though. It doesn't work.
No.
And so my dog, like we have this new dog, she loves the pond, right? Loves the pond. And so we're all fishing. Here she comes swimming by. She hooks all our lines. We're like, dude. I'm like, she's going to have fishing hooks all in her. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, jeez. So put your animal on a leash.
I don't have a dog.
Yeah, I've got a couple because we got big lions around here that like to come after you when you're hiking. So,
yeah.
Rather them go after the dog first.
See, you have predatory things over there. We just have dangerous things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You guys got the poison things there. I'm like, oh, no. Very cool. Alrighty, Ellen. Well, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for coming on and doing the fishing episode. Love it. Always love having you on.
I'll be sharing a rum with you soon.
That's right. Yes. All right. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Ellen, so much for coming on the show and for everything that you do to support the Changing Earth podcast. Super awesome person to have got to know. I am so honored. And I can't wait to meet you in person when you come out here for a visit. I'm so excited. So just thank you so much for just being there and, being a friend. I'm so honored. Thank you to all of my Patreon members out there doing what you do. I really appreciate you guys. And like I say, I have the new payment methods. You can go monthly, you can go yearly, whatever works for you. I'm trying to make it easy so that we can keep the show really rocking and the material just flowing. So thank you so much, guys, for everything that you do. If you'd like to become a contributor, head on over to www.patreon.com/Changing Earth. or head on over to my website at www.authorSarahFHathaway.com. Thank you all for listening today. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and I'm sending you out my love and virtual hugs. Just wishing your family the absolute best. So you guys have a good one, and until next time, remember, dream, survive, thrive.
Thank you for joining Sara for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, and Dark Days in Denver at www.authorsarahfhathaway.com. If you love Sara's books and this podcast, please head over to Amazon or iTunes and let everyone know by leaving a review.